Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Sunday morning in the old cookbook show. Today we're going to do a recipe out of this cookbook sent in by a viewer. Thank you, I love getting books in the mail. This is called Pull Together, the 1928 7th edition. Presented with the compliments of the leading merchants of Tacoma. Now this book, absolutely laser focused on newlyweds. People getting married and setting up their first household. And the advertising is filled with products and services that would help the new homeowner. And I really like this subtitle on here, Do More for Others Than You Expect Others to Do for You. A lot of the recipes are pretty basic. And the one we're going to do today caught my fancy because chicken was on sale at the grocery store. These chicken thighs had a 30% off sticker on them, and this is called Chicken Cooked in Milk. And it says to cut up a chicken as for frying. Obviously, I have chicken thighs, and they've already been cut up, so we're just going to go with that. Now, I'm supposed to roll the chicken in flour. So in this bowl, I'm going to put some flour. I'm going to season the flour. That's salt and pepper, just to get it going a little bit. It doesn't say to put the salt and pepper in with the flour. The instruction is for later in the process to add seasoning. I'm going to add some herb de Provence, but I think salt and pepper kind of includes in that seasoning. So I'm just going to slip the chicken thighs in there, and we'll toss that around just to get it fully coated. You can use your fingers, you can get in there with your hands. Put the flour and the chicken thighs into a paper bag, and then shake the paper bag everywhere, kind of like shake and bake from the 60s. Now, we're supposed to brown the chicken in a frying pan in butter. Doesn't say how much, but you know, 1928. Now, frying in butter can be a bit of a challenge. You walk a very fine line between browning the chicken pieces and burning the butter. So you have to watch your heat pretty carefully. You could pick any oil, I think, at this point. If you don't want to fry in butter, choose a different oil. And I'm going in skin side down. This is super simple, but it smells amazing. You've got going on in this pan just a bunch of really simple things. You've got butter, chicken, a little bit of flour, a little bit of salt and pepper. But as everything browns and comes together, the chicken is browning, the skin is browning, the butter is browning a little bit, the flour is browning a little bit, and you've got this amazing sort of nutty smell in here. I think I'm going to turn these over. I think the skin is browned enough. And if you want to take the skin farther, go right ahead. Just kind of keep it at medium-high temperature. Don't go too far. You don't want it to burn. The butter, if you burn the butter, it'll get bitter. You just kind of want brownish butter in the bottom of the pan. Now the recipe at this point, the only direction it gives is to season. I put in salt and pepper. I'm going to put in a little bit more pepper. And for other seasoning, I mean, I don't know that you need to go any farther than that. I'm going to put in herb de Provence because, you know, herb de Provence, chicken, match made in heaven. They go together so well. So I've just got a good pinch, and I'm going to put that on. And it's really up to you as you put it on. I got most of it on the stovetop, so a second pinch, get it in there. Now, we just cover with milk. The recipe says sweet milk. Every time I say sweet milk, I get questions. I need to repeat myself because this may be the first time you've ever watched. Sweet milk is just milk. You go to the grocery store and you buy milk. That's sweet milk. It doesn't mean sweetened milk at all. It's only called sweet milk in order to differentiate it from sour milk, which is, you know, milk that's gone sour. Or in today's sort of labeling, if you went to the grocery store and bought buttermilk, that is soured milk or sour milk. So sweet milk, just milk. So a bit more milk. I think that's probably tons. The lid on. Now, I've got the oven preheated 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to pop this in and bake it until the chicken is cooked through. In the meantime, I think I'm going to pull together the next recipe from the book for dumplings. I think dumplings would be really good in that. I'm going to check back in about half an hour before I start this recipe and see how the milk is thickening up and how much space I've got in that pan. But I think dropping some dumplings in there would be fantastic. Okay, the chicken is halfway done, and I'm going to make only half a recipe of the dumplings. I don't think I have much space in that pot to put the whole recipe of dumplings. So, into the milk, we're going to crack an egg. In that goes a little bit of salt and some baking powder and a little bit of a whisk. The recipe doesn't specify how much flour to put in, just enough to make a batter that drops from a spoon. So before I put that in, it doesn't say anything about seasoning, but I'm going to put in just a little bit of pepper and a little bit of herb de Provence, just a tiniest little pinch, just to kind of bring the whole thing together, make it cohesive so that the dumplings kind of have the same flavor profile as the sauce and the chicken. Now, I'm going to start out that much flour. I'm going to whisk it in. That'll get us something like a pancake batter. Pretty close to a pancake batter. And then I'm going to put in another spoonful, maybe a spoon and a half. And we'll whisk that, and it'll start to thicken up. Okay, so I think we've reached a consistency of a batter that will drop from a spoon. Really simple. Don't overthink it. Don't worry too much about recipes like this that don't give you the full amounts for this part. You just add flour a little bit at a time, stir it in. If you're unsure of yourself, just take a bit of time. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it too much. It's going to be fine. It'll be okay. You'll get there. Now, we'll get the chicken out. Now, I don't know if this dumpling recipe is supposed to go with this chicken dish or not. Seeing the two of them together just made me want them. So, scoop in the batter. Yeah, I know. The ones that my grandmother made too were nice and round and even. This is not that. I just kind of get stuff in the pan and it's going to taste fantastic. So, I get this last scoop in. Last scoop of dumpling batter. Oh, will it let go? There we go. Lid back on, back in the oven for 10-15 minutes.
Hey, Glenn, let me get the door for you.
Okay, this is going to be hot.
Hey, friends.
Oh! Ooh. Chicken cooked in milk with dumplings.
Dumplings.
So,
I have forks.
The dumplings just happened to be the next recipe down after the chicken cooked in milk. So I thought I'm gonna do them together because you know.
Because they're dumplings. They're probably meant to go together.
They probably are meant to go together.
Oh, dumplings. Sorry, I'm super excited about dumplings.
Okay. It's gonna be hot.
Okay. Glenn's warning me. It's going to be hot.
It's a dumpling and a piece of chicken. Look at that sauce. That's a good looking sauce. Okay.
Is this where we wait?
We once filmed with a tea master in Hong Kong, and her thing at the table was, if the tea is too hot, to sip right away. Talk nicely amongst your friends.
Fill the time.
Wait for it to cool down a little bit.
So tell me, do you have more stories to tell me about this chicken and dumplings?
No.
No? Well, so much for the talk amongst your friends.
Other than cooking in milk. Cooking chicken in milk is something that goes back, like, you know, it's one of those chicken and egg things.
Which came first?
Which, you know, and who cooked chicken in milk first? Because it's so long ago.
Oh, look at that dumpling.
That's a good looking dumpling. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just cut it up into I'm hoping that, you know, that idea of an increased surface area will allow it to cool faster.
Okay, in with the chicken.
Oh, you committed. I can't believe you committed. How hot is it?
I mean, it's just chicken. That's a good juicy chicken. And the dumpling. It's chicken and dumplings. I could have gone a little heavier with the herb de Provence in the dumpling. I just sprinkled it in. It didn't call for anything. But the sauce, that's some great sauce to put over, potatoes or other vegetables, or just spoon it on top of your
Your chicken and dumplings?
chicken and dumplings, and then, have a stack of sliced white bread in the middle of the table, like when I
for
was a kid.
dumpling.
Peeling off the slices and dipping it in the sauce. I mean, that's a
Go ahead.
that's a solid recipe.
And can I say that I really like dumplings and biscuits cooked in the sauce that is still a little bit, they're a little bit gooey, right? They're not like baked biscuits. I love them.
So that is a solid recipe, solid starting point. 1928. It's a little simple in terms of flavorings, which allows you to take the flavoring in almost any direction that you want. I've used herb de Provence because it goes really well with chicken, but you could put anything in there and play with those flavors.
As always.
Okay. Pretty good recipe book. Pretty good recipe. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.